Great. Thank you. All
And
right.
I don't worry about it.
All right. Great. Thank you. So, Judy, I'm going to hit the right button this time. And Judy, where are you from? And what is your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm from Philadelphia suburbs, Pennsylvania, and I actually wanted to know about getting the book on Kindle because I had it from the library and I could not see any of the tables or the PDFs when I had the ebook. So if I purchase on Kindle, will I be able to see those accessory?
Yes, if you purchase on Kindle, you'll be able to download something like 120-page PDF document.
Okay, that's great to know. And the other thing is for garbanzo beans, do I need to get beans that are specifically designed for sprouting, or can I just use?
I would always recommend seeds if you live where they are available. There's some people that I'm supporting in Africa, that don't have access to organic or sprouting seeds. They're lucky to have any seeds. But if you can get organic sprouting seeds, which are readily available, I would get them.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Judy. Keep on sprouting.
So, Doug, how do we know if the seeds that we're buying are good enough? If they grow, like if a standard seed grows, does that mean that it's good enough?
I mean, it's a really good question. I encourage fresh, organic sprouting seeds, right? That's what I am encouraging people to buy. The other ones will sprout, will germinate. Certainly, if you're not buying organic sprouting seeds that are tested for pathogens, I would certainly ensure that you go through, the sanitary process. And the way to know if they're good is if they actually sprout, right? So one of the things is you want to be looking for a 90+% germination rate. So you could do a little test and take 30 seeds and see if you're getting 27 of those are actually sprouting and three of them or less are not sprouting.
Great. And can all sprouts be grown in jars and trays, or do they need to be grown in soil or darkness? And which ones would not be able to be sprouted?
I mean, Michael, how much time do you have to go through the 60,000 word book, et cetera? But just in general,
yes.
Everything that I'm talking about could be sprouted in a jar with not a tray, without soil.
Perfect.
And in ambient light, not daylight, not sunshine, and they don't require darkness.
Great. Our next question is going to be coming from Stacy. Stacy, you have to unmute yourself if you want to ask a question.
Hey, Doug, it's Stacy Heine. You were on my podcast. I'm super excited to see you here.
Hey, Stacy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, best ever.
I have asked you already, and like my favorite sprout, I want everybody else to know about this, so I want to ask you again here. I've asked you on Instagram already, like about onion sprouts, because they're my favorite sprout ever. And I'm still waiting for the study to show us the allium content in there, or the allinase, or the special compound in there. I really want to know how high they are in that. But I'm still having trouble. It's so hit or miss for the germination on onion sprouts. So do you have like a specific brand of onion seeds that work best for you, or do you have any pro tips on how to get them to sprout well?
I think that, how long are you soaking them for?
At least overnight.
Yeah. So I would try, because the seeds are smaller, I would try less. Like I would try doing a daytime 5 or 6 hour soak, and then I'd rinse them off. And for the onion seeds, which they can be dirty, so the onion seeds could be dirty, I would, whether you're doing a formal surface level sanitary rinse, but I would rinse the seeds off 2 or 3 times before you start to soak them, so that you're creating the cleanest environment for them, and then soak them for 5 to 6 hours, and try that germination.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody needs to try onion sprouts. They're the best flavor in the world. They're so good. Thank you, Doug.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. Nice talking to you.
You too.
All right. And our next question is going to be coming from Joe Lapiana. Joe.
Hey, Michael, and your beautiful guest right now. Thank you. I just joined. I'm a super sprouter, a super grower, more of a conventional farmer that I have greenhouses, so I'm experimenting doing sprouting in greenhouses year round. I'm a really soil kind of guy, although I do like the idea of the convenience of sprouting in jars the way you recommend. And I just want to say my success with both broccoli, pea shoot, and sunflower is about 90 to 95%. Germination, harvest, spectacular. Outdoors, in a greenhouse, year round, even in the winter, fall, spring, summer. Obviously, some of the times a year, it's a little better than others. But Michael's had more of my conventional stuff. Michael knows what some of my lettuce tastes like, but my sprouts are incredible. I found that the flavor growing in soil under the sun, I make my own compost. I grow it almost exclusively in my composted medium, and it seems to make a difference both in germination and in flavor. Do you have any comment? Have you ever experimented with that? Am I one of the few people that do it that way?
Well, I think that what you're growing, I would define as shoots or microgreens,
Okay.
that have advanced beyond the sprouting stage. There's no question that if you have access to healthy soil and healthy compost, that the sprouts or the microgreens or the vegetables will taste very good. That is a luxury, and you won the ovarian lottery that you can do that. And you save a lot of time doing that, growing there. If you're growing, say, sunflower seeds in the jar and in the jar method, it's a very powerful method of doing it. And you can do it. And the one advantage of doing it in the jar is that you get to eat the root system of the sunflower seed. That you get to eat the root and the shoot. And the downside is that they're smaller than if you grow them outside or in the soil. They're just smaller. They won't grow as big.
Do they flower?
No.
They're
not
straight, a white straight stem. That's it.
No. Oh, they green. You get the cotyledons, but they don't flower.
I mean, so flower mean the green. The two.
You get the green. Yeah, you get the green. You get a green, but you don't get the yellow flower.
How many inches is that?
Maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
Okay.
And it's curly. And you have to manually remove the husks. So that's the shells have to be manually removed in the jar. So it's a little bit of a meditative process, but it's super fun and super nutritious to be able to eat the entire living sunflower sprout.
I'm excited to try that. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Good job. Good on you.
Yeah. Now let me just go back to broccoli for a minute. So I'm buying from a company that in the New York area manufactures broccoli sprouts. Mine are almost identical to theirs, but my flavor's better. Like, what would you define a broccoli sprout? How many inches? What would like the parameters for that to be?
I would say a broccoli sprout is probably 1 inch to 2 inches.
Okay.
And curly with a leaf and with a root mechanism in place. And the leaves may be just getting green.
Okay. Do you find that the root in the sprouting method that you're referring to is part of the shall we say, nutritional component of the plant?
Absolutely.
I never considered that. That's the first time I heard that. Thank you.
Hey, that's why I'm here.
Thanks,
Beautiful.
Joe. All right. And Cheryl, where are you from? I think you've actually already asked the question. And what is your next question?
Hi, Doug, again. Yes, I did ask a question, the one that upset everybody, the sterilizing question. But anyway, I have a different question for you. I'm still in Santa Rosa, by the way, Santa Rosa, California. I've noticed listening to a lot of prominent raw foodists that they use dehydrators a lot. And I think I heard you say something about the importance of keeping the water in the food that you're going to eat. So are you opposed to using dehydrators? And if not, do you ever use them, and what for?
So I use dehydrators to make flax crackers, flax chia crackers, and I use dehydrators after I soak and germinate nuts. So if I have a almond that's a truly raw almond and I soak it and I germinate it, I will use the dehydrator to remove the extra moisture of that nut so it's crunchy and clear. So I'm not opposed to the dehydrators. I love raw vegan restaurants and the like. My preference is for things that are fresh, that are water-based, because in order to properly assimilate the nutrition, things need to have the water, things need to be turned into a liquid. So I like the water-based. From a level of dehydrated food, it creates raw vegan comfort food. And there's nothing wrong with being comforted, but to know that given a choice, are you better off, in my opinion, to have fresh versus dehydrated versus frozen versus freeze-dried. I'm a fresh guy. I like fresh.
Thanks. That helps a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Michael, we'll take two more questions.
All right, perfect. I was actually going to say the same exact thing, Doug. I think we're on the same page here. So how do you know when a garbanzo bean sprout is ready to eat? What happens if you eat it before it's fully sprouted? Is it bad for your health?
I think if it's before it's fully sprouted, it might be a little bit harder to digest. And I think the worst case scenario is you might have slight levels of flatulation. And you know that it's ready when it garners a tail. Like the seed begins its metamorphosis almost like a tadpole, it gets a little bit of a tail.
Okay, awesome. And you mentioned, I think in your writing that they use soy sprouts.
Yes, I like soybean sprouts.
Okay, that was kind of the question. Some people say soy isn't good. What are your thoughts? And it sounds like you like it. So why do you think that it is good?
I think soy is a complete protein, and I think that soy has been unfairly demonized. And I think that if you're going to eat soy, the freshest, rawest, most natural way to eat soy is to take a raw organic soybean and germinate it.
All right. Did you want to take one more question? We have one more audience hand.
Yeah, one more question. Absolutely.
All right, Brenda, you won the lottery. So Brenda, you're gonna have to unmute yourself and
Thanks,
go ahead.
Doug. I'm sorry I missed most of the presentation, but you were just talking about removing the husk or the shell from the water after you spin the sprouts. Is that absolutely necessary?
It depends on the varietal. With sunflower, it is absolutely necessary. With alfalfa and mung bean and broccoli and the other garden varietals, I will eat the whole thing.
Okay, one other quick thing. For like broccoli and radish sprouts and the more general varieties, do you put them out in the sun after they are mature to get chlorophyll before you refrigerate them?
I might put them out in daylight near a window for about an hour or so to green them up, but I won't put them actually outside and for too long.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, Michael, that was phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. You convinced me to start sprouting, so I appreciate that, and I'm sure a lot of the audience are going to be sprouting because of this presentation. So I really appreciate that. So so thank you so much. If we could unmute the audience, please.
Sure.